Hello, Nora. Hi.
أهلا وسهلا.
أخبارك؟
هاي.
How's
تمام
everything?
الحمد لله. هاي سارة. الحمد لله. أنت إيش حالك؟ شو أخبارك؟
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for joining us today, like on behalf of Photography Studio. We really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Anytime, honestly. Um, I'm gonna be honest to our viewers. Nora actually go way back.
Hi viewers.
Can I tell them about the first time I met you?
Of course, yes. Oh, actually, I think we bonded on photography, and honestly, photography has been getting me to meet all the interesting, awesome people in my life, and I'm forever thankful for this reason.
No, thank you for being a cool person who's so open to meeting new people. So I made a list of photographers I wanted to meet through Instagram, and I couldn't find Noora. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know what she looked like. I didn't know, literally, there was no information.
Anonymously hiding behind that Instagram page.
Honestly, though, then at Manarat, we had a workshop with beautiful destinations at Noora. And I got to meet every photographer and influencer. It was really amazing, such a great time. And I met Nora, and everyone was taking great pictures and being so focused with their cameras. And Nora's just walking around with one iPhone on her strap, just walking like she
honestly
has photography. You know what I mean?
Sarah, and I just came into the workshop because it was really cool and beautiful destination. It was the first time in the region, and I thought everyone would be interested. But at the same time, I was mainly interested in meeting people rather than taking photos and actually paying attention to what's going on. I feel a bit shy to admit that, but I think I was mainly interested in meeting people more than the technical part of the workshop.
No, but that's what I liked. Yani, you were so calm and cool, and then we talked for maybe 2 hours. We exchanged phone numbers, and then right before we left, you're like, "Oh, let's add each other on Instagram." I was like, "Okay." And then I saw that I was following you, and I was like, "This is you." I lost my mind.
It was funny. I was not. You came at me, attacking me, and you were like, "Why are you not saying that it's you? Why are you like so calm through the whole thing?" I'm like,
loser.
But I came to meet people, not talk about photography a lot.
No, it's so nice. Yeah, I mean, you could tell it. You were just like, it's nice. I feel like with your photography style specifically, and with your documentary series, I can see how, mashallah, you got such great access and how you calm down the photographers. Then the way you're acting, it's so easy to approach you, which is really nice. And it's not a skill many people have.
And I think this is one of the main reasons that I really want to talk about and focus on our talk today.
Yeah.
Of course, you know that we're going to be talking about our Eyes and Stories project, which I really appreciate the interest from your side of talking about it. And we will talk into more depth on everything about this project, the planning, the execution, the ideas behind it, and some tips as well on how it was possible to actually be carrying these images, given the circumstances that we are having, and even the environment and circumstances that I shot these photos during.
Yeah. So for anyone who's just joining us and doesn't know what Noora does specifically, so Noora is, I would say, like an aerial, maybe conceptual and documentary photographer. I think, Yani, when you pick something, you go really strong on it.
I think when people ask me what kind of focus on photography, I would say everything. This is how much I love it. But I cannot stick to a specific type of photographies because I believe you need to customize what you're shooting according to the cause and reason.
Yeah.
To me, the concept behind it, the goal behind it, and is it going to benefit people or not, is what makes me take the path of photography I'm taking despite the project or what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for really quite time, and I think the main goal that got me really dedicated and into time is that I really want to show UAE in a different way, more than what you see on social media or Google or anywhere. We have a lot to expose, and we have a lot of topic that we really need to shed some lights on. And this is where the language I speak best, which is the language of photos, came in handy.
Yeah. Can you actually go back and explain a little bit about your background and how you got into photography?
Yes, of course. I grew up, my father was a film photographer, and I grew up watching him shooting film photography. And I was really interested into how I fell in love with the concept that you can easily freeze a moment or a feeling and have them on a paper, and you can easily go back. So to me, it felt like the camera felt like a time traveling machine. I can just freeze anything, keep it there, and then go back to it whenever I can. And more importantly, that it's all about what I'm freezing. It's a very powerful tool. I don't look at my camera or any device, either the most expensive high-end camera or a simple one. To me, they were never an ordinary object that you use to take photos, but it's more of a powerful tool that nowadays and the times we're living in came in very powerful and important for everyone to master, to be able to project and talk about and surpass the barrier of language and different culture through photos. That's why when I started to self-study this whole thing, and I dedicated time and effort to it, my background in health studies, and I didn't get to study photography the academic way, but I've always made time and effort to do that in my own time and my own free effort. And with time coming, and Abu Dhabi started to be always been a colorful city, you cannot not be inspired to practice photography freely with all the support, with everything. And time carries on. I started to hop on from one trend to another, and now I found myself an aerial photographer. And a lot of things happen in these years regarding photography. But if one thing I came across that is so powerful is that you can practice photography for so many years, and you can dedicate your time, effort, and even money into. Some people will find it an expensive hobby, but if you don't have a goal to it, and if you don't have a reason behind it, a message to deliver, everything is just haphazardly. You could be taking a lot of random shots, going here and there, but you have always to have a goal to it. And this is where the part of planning before executing any project came in very important. And we're talking today about eyes and stories. I wouldn't go and shoot people's faces randomly unless I had a solid thinking and background and concept about what I'm trying to tell people about that.
So for somebody who doesn't know, Noora, mashallah, she went to the COVID-19 centers and photographed over 140 frontline workers. And documented stories. It's such a powerful series. Everyone in the photography studio, when it was coming out, were like, this is like so strong, mashallah, and it's such a great message. And
I'm really happy that a lot of people loved it, and a lot of people interacted with it, and a lot of people got the feelings that I was trying to project. And this year, 2020 is a very special year with everything that happened for us photographers. I would say we were lucky to be living in a pandemic. This is one of a lifetime long thing. And if you want to look at such a circumstances happening back in history, you'd only have to open a book or go look at these ancient photos. And to be able to live in times where such a thing happened, a photographer will always think about documenting what's happening around them. So you can think of a pandemic, and everyone were doing amazing photographing this, but I wanted to add the humanitarian organic nature of what a human soul is. And I'm honest to you, I was really curious about the people and the faces, and what kind of people who would put their life into pose and just go in a blink of an eye to serve the community and hop on these centers, exposing themselves to all sort of dangers and just working. And in these centers, the beauty of UAE community, was really visible to me, how everyone, despite their backgrounds and their language and who they all came in together, working hand to hand to serve the community and serve the country. And to me, that was beautiful. Yeah. I wanted to capture the spirit of different backgrounds, different colors, different causes, all like presented in human souls. And I thought, like, I was thinking of how to do that. And when I first learned about the drive-through screening centers UAE came up with during this time, that's it. This is going to be my walk-in gallery of everything I want to shoot. Yeah. And I had to plan it first, and I had to write down and list down all the goals and all the things I want to come out of and what I really want to shoot, because it was my first time to be shooting in a biohazard environment. This year we all had to wear masks, and I think the beauty of everyone's eyes started to be highlighted more. If you looked at people and their eyes behind the mask, you will see that you will have an idea, and you're grabbed the way they feel, and you can easily read their feelings. And this where came in the eyes and stories, because this project was mainly focused on their eyes. And I think the eye language is a very powerful language. And during the photography, I had to talk to every person that I meet and first introduce myself, introduce the project and the cause of it, and just take my time to talk to the individual, because you need for their soul to start appearing in the eyes before shooting. Yeah. You don't need to take I was worried all the time that, oh my God, I don't want to end up taking mug shots of everyone. And that was my worst nightmare. And I was like, I've actually done a similar project in Africa, but I never had the need to do such a project here in the UAE until this year happened. And I think that was the right time to do it. So I had the planning of the whole project happen, the phase of getting it approved and gain access. And I wanted to equally present all the centers in Abu Dhabi as an Emirates. So I've done 2 centers in Al Ain and 2 centers in Abu Dhabi. And we've covered 150 face and 150 interview.
Can I ask, what was the day-to-day like? Like, I want to know from the morning to night, like, what time did you start? What did you bring with you? How many times did you get tested? Like,
yes, so the process was during shooting, I was racing time a lot because Ramadan was coming on the line, and I really did not want to shoot in Ramadan, but I was caught in time, and I had to do the first 3 weeks of Ramadan shooting, which means having to quarantine away from my family all during Ramadan. So just to make sure to take all the safety precautions and to do everything that I had to do. So I would visit one center, but before the visit, I would get tested. And when my result of the came in, I would go in and shoot. And then after the shooting of the center, I would get tested. And again, I will wait till the result came in and then go on to the next one. And all this kind of the shooting time of the whole project took up to 4 weeks, 3 weeks kind of time. And a lot of quarantining happened. That was one of the things during shooting I got to came face to face with, is that I need to stay away and quarantine myself. And Ramadan came in, and I did not finish all the centers that I want to shoot. And I had to do the first 3 weeks of Ramadan of shooting, which again, quarantining alone. And you can imagine how Ramadan would be, quarantining alone and then shooting in the daytime of the heat. It was a bit of a struggle, but I really wanted to do that the most optimum good way possible. I wanted to take all safety precautions, and I first came in with my DSLR camera. I would just take a small kind of, crossbody bag, put on only the things. And now, who doesn't walk with a sanitizer nowadays? Yeah. And an extra mask as well. And I mainly wanted to shoot, the project was meant for it to be shot on a DSLR camera. But when I went there and I saw how it was like a busy beehive kind of environment. Everyone knew what they are supposed to do. Everyone kept on walking around me from station to another. It was really hard to sneak in a photo from someone. And then I was like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work as handy and as fast to shoot with my DSLR camera. And I have to come up with another idea.
Yeah.
And this is where iPhone came in.
Yeah.
You know, when you keep on experimenting and taking shots with your iPhone, and since the beginning, and since the merging of these amazing devices, you can be walking around with a very amazing camera that you can document and shoot all sort of things.
Yeah.
So I ended up shooting everyone with my iPhone. At first I was like, yeah, this is possible. The quality of the iPhone and how amazing it is. And you got the portrait mode as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was picking the perfect corner with the perfect lighting. You can easily get an amazing, phenomenal results. And this is what I had with me.
Wait, so how would you in a day, how many frontline workers would you get to? And how would you document all of them, like write down so you didn't mismatch to the other ones?
Yeah, and then that's a very interesting question. It's a very good question, because I had to be limited on the things I would take with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the iPhone, I would shoot with it. I would write down the name and I would record the interview. So all three in one with the device.
Okay.
And I will make sure to put everyone on a timeline. Let's say I just talk to you, I would record your center, your first name, and then your interview, and then your photo. And I had to do it the moment I leave the center. I had to go back home, open my desktop, try to file in everything in every phase.
Yeah.
Because one of the limitations that I thought would happen is for me to mismatch someone, or to not get the proper line of that someone into the picture. Mm-hmm. So this took me of having to document and offload the photos day by day.
Yeah.
On each day, I would shoot sometimes the maximum of shot in a day. It was almost 45 face, 45 interview, which was the beginning of the working time.
10, I think.
And yeah, I'm a very talky person, so it wasn't hard. And I would jump from one person to another and grab a talk. But I think what actually made me go on is that people were really happy to talk to me, and they felt really happy to talk to me. And this came in the part where your communication skills as a photographer should be very sharp and important into that. It's not a matter of shooting and moving, as if you have to treat everything you shoot as a piece of art, and you have to let everyone express their way, and you have to let everyone feel comfortable with their photos taken. So this takes a lot of time, but trust me, when you pay time to do this, you end up always having amazing results.
Yeah. No, I mean, the results like speak for themselves, honestly. Can you tell us a favorite moment you had? Yeah, some funny interactions, or like a moment that like got to you that you still remember?
I think one of the saddest moment that made me actually tear up really, of one of the ladies that I shot. She first talked to me about her hobby of loving flowers and planting them, and then she said, I plant this flower because I love the smell. The smell of it reminds me of my mom, and I miss my mom, and she left years ago. And she started sobbing, and I felt really sad. That I was like, I wanted to give you a positive, happy time. I did not mean to like get you to remember sad things. But this also made me feel that people, despite hard times, good times, humans are the most inspiring creatures. They're so beautiful, and they're so colorful, and they're full of emotions. This is where it's very important for photography to be able to capture all of that. And another sad moment was when one of the ladies telling me, I miss my husband. He died last year, and if he was here, he would be very proud of me. And that was a very sad moment as well. The most proud moment of all times that I came across during the COVID-19, we've all heard of these international students who get evacuated back home from the country that they're studying at. And I met a group of students that I was really proud of, because if I was them, I won't be able to do that. And I don't know anyone who would be able to do that. But these students, they were evacuated back home from the States where they're studying. And they spent quarantine. And the moment they finish their quarantine time, they hop on the volunteer program to work on these centers. And when I see them, one of the ladies, she told me that she really missed going to classes and she missed having her routine going to classes days. And when the more I talked to her, the more I've learned the story. I just told you about them. And I was like, wow, you're looking at people. They did not only pose their lives, they had to do things out of their way and out of their own responsibilities, just because of how much they love their country and they love the community. And I think in these hard times only, we got to learn how powerful we are as a nation.
Definitely.
And how beautiful we are, despite locals, non-locals. We are all a small kind of slot of a cloth that when we're sewed together, we're the most beautiful thing that makes UAE what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Really, I mean, this time, see how the whole country works together. How when they told us to stay home, everybody stayed home. Alhamdulillah. Like it was, it made my heart, like, I was happy, especially, I mean, it's such a strong time. So how did you mentally cope with when you were photographing these things? Because you were by yourself, like you were saying, Ramadan, like, was there any time where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, I quit? Like, khalas, I got enough photographs.
I think, no, I had those moments. And I want to thank you for asking this question. I love the questions you're asking, by the way. And I love that you also take care of the photographer mental health and feeling and emotions, because it's a very powerful thing and it's a very important thing. I've had those moments in the first couple of days of Ramadan. I was really thirsty and it was really hot. And I missed my family at the same time. And I didn't have time to want to cook to myself good food. And I was like, nope, I don't want to go on tomorrow. I think I've had enough photos. And that's a classical famous line that every photographer would tell themselves. I have enough photo. I don't need to go. And then the moment I would think of that, the moment it comes to my mind that, wait, listen. But maybe if there is someone with a very interesting story, with a very beautiful eyes, are just trapped behind the mask, waiting for me to come and talk to them and shoot them with my camera. And this is where I got the motivation. And this is where actually, while shooting, I started posting the photos, and I wanted to give people a post-iftar series to wait for. So after iftar, breaking the fast of Ramadan, I would go on my Instagram story and I would post each face that I met for the day with their lines. And when I started getting a lot of messages and people started to following up and every day. And if a day passes by of me not posting, they'll go send me a message. Are you gonna post today? It's been 24 hours. Where is the post? I was like, okay, yes, clearly people are engaging with the project and people are getting their delivery of these feelings about these people. And I think, and what I actually saw, I thought I'm the only one who was really curious about people working at the front line and these centers. But I found out that everyone in this society are really curious about these people. This is where the project came in the right time, in the right moment. And that curiosity started to be fed with the project. And this is what actually gave me, I felt obligated to give people these stories. And I think this is what made me go on.
I think you said a good point earlier when you were saying you just have to ask. Lena, to me, like, I was interested, but I would never think to ask, like, hi, can I come photograph you? Because I feel like they'd be like, no, sorry. But inti, mashallah, like you took the extra step, and that's something most people don't really do. You know what I mean? Yani, like
Yes, you could be walking anywhere, Sarah, and as a photographer, and I'm sure you're doing your own art and photography as well. You can see a face that is very photogenic and very beautiful, whatever you are in the world, and then you will feel shy to ask to take a photo. But again, what I said earlier when we started this conversation is that if you did not ask, you will always be in doubt of not getting an answer. And I think when you introduce yourself, you have a very good communication skills, and you have a good way of reading people's language, body language. You will get the answer. And frankly saying, where I was doing the project, I introduced myself, I introduced the project and all of that. And some people, I only got two actually faces that they don't want to be photographed, and I completely respect that. And I think this is often an answer you get of people to photograph. But if you're nice and you would ask a question, you will get what you want.
Yeah, ask respectfully. Yeah, that's the
respectfully. Yes.
Like you're gonna have to ask in a nice way. I have let's actually, it's the next question. How did people react to your photographs? I know you said it was a good reception, but I want to get into everything because I know on Instagram, on any type of social media, it's not always gonna be great, which is unfortunately the case.
Yes, exactly. As anywhere on social media or any platform, and the more you do things on genuine feelings and spirit, and that you don't mean no harm, and especially if you construct a very valuable project that is much needed at times, and when you have the courage to step in with a project and execute it and put it out there, you have to expect that you have to expect and welcome all sort of feedback. And I think this is where a room of improvement always is valuable. But a feedback from a feedback, a comment from a comment is always the case. You can easily criticize something, but if you're using the right manners, the right times, and the right kind of words, you're very much welcome. Other than that, I think you cannot come and criticize someone's hard work, for example, or criticize the face. And alhamdulillah, the majority of the feedback was amazing.
Wait,
sorry?
People criticizing their face?
Some people, exactly. Some people, the majority of the feedback was amazing, but I got some feedback of people criticizing certain kind of lines or interview of some people of what they saw. These people, I think they failed to get the understanding of the project. So when I put the photo and put the first name with the name of the person, this post is for that person. You know, when you create a gallery, an exhibition, and decide to frame an artwork and give the artwork a space, this is for the artwork. This is for that person. This is for them. It felt like me giving them the mic to talk about whatever they want to talk. So you cannot come and criticize something they felt that they want to share, especially if that thing is a very private to them and it belongs to them. So I got a bit of criticizing about that, and a bit of criticizing of some of the faces. Some people thought it's not okay to project or shoot certain faces or some of that. And again, it brings you to a very important point. As a photographer, you need to just always focus on the work and the quality and the cause of it. You will always be hit with stones. Modern time hit with a stone is those weird comments we get on Instagram, which is completely fine. It means that you're getting to all sort of people. It shouldn't be something to weigh you down or stop you from doing what you're doing. I find them a very I think of them as a sign that I'm doing amazing. So whenever I get those comments, I'm like, yep, we're doing good. It means we're doing good. And yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that, especially in the UAE photography community, we don't talk about because we're all on Instagram and we don't talk about the darker side of it, yani, and how we all know each other too. It's not a very big community.
Yes.
And unfortunately, everyone's like, yes, my photos did amazing. I'm like, okay, but you're clearly hesitant to show me your photos. Why? You know? And then, yeah, even a great project like yours that's like so heart-warming, mashallah, yani, you really brought to life these people who were just like, oh, the COVID centers. And especially quarantined at home, yani, I would never see them, except only on the news, like in passing. So that's so interesting. And
yeah, as you just said, the community here, I think people need to support each other more.
Yeah.
And I think people need to appreciate each other more.
Yeah.
Any person who calls themselves as a photographer, they have something to say and they have something to project. Other than that, they're not going to be a photographer. And when you support someone and when you appreciate someone's work, you always end up proving this person. And this person will always be left with a very nice positive energy for them to continue doing the amazing work they're doing. And I think sometimes this is missing, but my only advice when people ask me about that, sadly, we have to fall in under the rules and regulation of being on a platform such as Instagram.
Yeah.
But always remind yourself, number of followers, number of likes, engagement rates, and such a stuff, for people who views your stories, and number of comments you get. This is never a measurement of your value as an artist or as a person or whoever you want to be. This is not who you are. This shouldn't be something that stops you from doing anything amazing.
Yeah. Well, Noora, I have a question for you. So where do you see... Can I start again? Because of course I have questions for you. So Noora, where do you see this project going? Like, you put it on Instagram now, and do you see it in a book or an exhibition? Maybe, I don't know,
I'm not sure yet, but my vision was, we're first doing the project and everything. I kind of feel that I have not done enough to appreciate these people. And I really would love to print all of their photos, their face photos, on a big billboard. And I would ask everyone to come and appreciate themselves, or just drive by and say, yep, it's me, row 4, corner B, and stuff like that. But maybe one day,
like on a billboard.
Maybe one day, or maybe have an exhibition where all of their faces will be there, and I would, invite them and ask them to come over. I'm still planning, and I'm still thinking of it, and I'm still trying to figure out the proper support to get to this project. And yeah.
I mean, again, it's a beautiful project. When you first started posting on Instagram, I speak on photography studios like behalf, we were all like, mashallah, this is such a strong project, and it's something that we definitely needed during this pandemic time.
True. True. I feel good. I feel happy. I feel really good and happy about you guys, and it's feel really good to have people such as you and doing what you're doing and having this really amazing platform in Manarat Saadiyat to support all of this and support photographers and actually noticing the things happening around the community. And that's a very powerful thing to do. And just by coming to me today and offering to talk about the project from your side, Sarah, it means a lot to me. And this is very much valued from my side to talk about this.
No, thank you. I mean, as you know, photography studio, we're all addicted to Instagram. So we're noticing everything. Like, if anything we're on Instagram too much, like, we live off it. So
yes,
for any other photographers in the community, we definitely notice what you're doing. And
alhamdulillah, and I'm really excited what yet to come, inshallah. And I can't wait for the time we're back to our normal events and normal plannings and normal days of shooting. Inshallah, all is going to come. Probably when the weather starts to be less painful as it is now.
I just went to the desert in July to take a quick photo shoot. And all
Oh wow, Sarah, that's powerful work.
Yeah,
but again, this brings you to the topic is that once you're an artist with a cause, you're unstoppable by by nothing. You're unstoppable. You're always out there doing something, and this is what makes us the people we are and the things we do.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Sarah. You take care of yourself and say hi to everyone at the photography studio, Manarat. Inshallah, we'll see you soon, guys.
Inshallah. And thank you to everyone listening today, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for tuning in. And see you around, inshallah. Allah يحفظكم جميعا. Bye bye. مع السلامة.
مع السلامة. Thank you, guys. Bye.